Need a motion for the agenda.
So move.
Second. All in favor? Aye, opposed, same sign. Any,
Aye.
thanks, John. Approval of the minutes of, December 1st. Everybody had a copy? The motion.
I make that motion.
Second.
90 seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Public comment. Anything? Public comment?
No public comment, sir.
No public comment. Received from information supervisors not seated. Anybody got anything to say? Updates on Administrator Netherlands.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just say briefly regarding COVID, we're still under the pandemic. That hasn't gone anywhere. However, if you have looked at the website or the newspaper, the cases are coming down, and since the holidays, it stopped going down. It's kind of wavering, but it is down from where it was been, which is, I think, a positive sign. But we still have to maintain our discipline, and thank you all for wearing your mask. It's good to know that, you know, we're doing what we can to help here. The vaccine, I did just speak with Tanya. We don't have it in the county yet, but we think by next week we'll have a plan in place logistically to administer it to that phase 1A group of folks. More information on that will be coming later. Regarding Public Works, I'll just say regarding the quarry, lime quarry, we are finalizing the language that we, and to make sure that the ag lime is going to be available. So that's going to be worked out. We'll be discussing that with general government next week. Also, the recycling center, which we know needs some work done to it. But before we do that, we're going to go with an outside consulting group to give us some objective perspectives of what types and options we have to deal with repairing the recycling center, going to a new, or how do we improve the whole recycling program. So I just wanted you to know we've taken that initiative to go ahead, and we're going to just do that. We've got the consulting firm that's done some work for us. They're ready to go. I think we'll probably move with that pretty quickly. So we'll have good information and make a decision when it needs to be made. And for now, that's all I have.
All right. Okay, updates from Highway Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, just a couple updates. As far as the federal bridge projects are going, they're all on schedule right now. The ones that are further along in town of Beaver, Clear Lake, and McKinley, everything's been passed on those for drying, 60%. Working on the final review of those. The bridge on County B up in Atlas, that one, the asbestos report came back. There's no asbestos in that bridge. So that one's well on its way for design. County Road M project, that went out for bids this spring. The bids came in $400,000 over budget, as engineers estimated. So with those programs, of federal programs were capped at the estimated amount. I did put in for change management to help cover those costs to see if they'll cover 80-20 on those. If they do not cover that funding, I'm still going to move forward with the project and defer a project from 2021 to 2022 of my normal county projects, overlay projects. So we'll get that scheduled for this spring, and that project will go off as scheduled. The only other thing I have is brought with me Rod McGee. Rod McGee was our state foreman right there.
Yeah.
He's now been promoted to replace Steve Mullenbeck as our fleet supervisor.
Great.
So I just wanted to bring him along to introduce you to him.
Good choice.
So he'll be doing that. We'll be going out for a new foreman.
I suppose now we gotta buy a John Deere tractor. There not be no Ford trucks.
Great. Good choice.
That's all I got, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheriff, what have you got?
I got all kinds of good stuff.
We need good news.
Well, I don't know if it's good news, but
Well, we need anything.
putting out a report there, kind of some year-end stats showing how high the drug numbers are in Polk County. I'm really proud of the work that our drug investigators do. They work hard every single day, and when we look at 539 total drug investigations in a year with 361 felony cases. That's almost a felony per day that we're knocking out. So I'm really proud of the hard work they do. We'll never stop. We'll always work hard at this. And hopefully we can combat this problem in the county. I want to share a few things that go on that don't get put in a report. Christmas morning, when everybody's at home, myself included, looking at Christmas presents and whatnot, our deputies are out dealing with armed suicidal people. And the great work that our deputies do to avoid a shooting and to help these individuals is fantastic. We had a guy with a gun to his head at a boat landing. And with that, that's very high stress. And this went on for an hour and a half of negotiating. And it was negotiated to a peaceful setting. And the news often doesn't like to share those non-shooting stories. So I'm here just to say that the work our men and women do oftentimes goes unnoticed. So I'm very proud of that. It's again, I said this before, it's easy to be the sheriff when you have such fine men and women that dedicate to the career. In December, one of the things I got to do as well is present 3 life-saving awards to 3 members of the Cushing Fire Department. And that was wrapped in, if you recall, back in November, I presented the awards to the deputies here. That was tied into that case where we had a car go through the ice. And the Cushing Fire guys, it was Sam Owens, Brandon Schmidt, and Mike Swantek assisted in that case. And that's the kind of community we live and work in, is people that are dedicated to come out and help people in crisis. So that was one of the better things for December. But with that, we look forward to 2021, hopefully getting back to a little bit of a normal sense. You know, I think 2021 has potential to end very positive. You know, I think it's going to be status quo here for a few months, but hopefully we get out of this cycle of kind of some dysfunction. So, any questions?
Right, none? No questions?
All right. I think we might be one off on the crash stat. We might have had 14 fatals. I'm going to double check that, but unfortunately it was double digits. So I'll check with the DOT on that and make sure we get that. You know, we had some issues this summer where one of the cars went into water and we deemed that a fatal, but then it turns out it was actually a drowning. Guy made it out of the car, went back to the car to turn the lights off and succumbed to the water. So some of those get gray. So we want to make sure we get our facts straight and our data is accurate. So that's always a little bit of a work in progress, and we'll continue to do that.
Thanks a lot, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Sheriff Walker.
We've got to address Resolution 521, accepting donations from,
Yeah, I'll talk about that.
okay?
So we had Heather Grosvenor approach us and want to make a donation and show their support to the sheriff's department and our staff. So she made a donation to buy our patrol deputies pizzas one night, and then she wanted to buy some equipment or something for the sheriff's department. So working with the Canine Association, the Grosvenor family and the Canine Association ended up buying us some training equipment for their firearm targets. So they're heavy-duty stands and foam backers, and it just helps with firearms training and taser training and different things that we can use the target stands for. So it was nice that her family was willing to step up and donate this month.
Great, yeah.
Questions about the donation on that at all?
We have to make a motion on
So, Mr. Chair, the resolution,
passing it on to,
yes, sir,
County Board.
accepts the donation and recognizes the donee.
right. So moved by Joe. Do you want to repeat it? Seconded by Doug. Is there any discussion on that, or misunderstanding, or not understanding, or any comments on it? Other than that, we'll vote to accept the donation and pass this resolution on to the county board directly, right? Okay. All right. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
We want to thank for the donation, of course, and we'll pass it to the county board. Doug, what have you got for us on an update, the ATV, UTV? I know you guys have been doing an active job and I'll surely give you credit for that.
Yeah, Ben was here and involved, and basically today what we were talking about is, I got a map here of the Indian Creek area they're working on. Actually, this comes through the northern ATV, UTV group, and to get a trail from Clam Falls to Indian Creek for ATV, UTVs. And Ben has been looking into it, and we're also looking at a larger loop in Sterling, which would increase the 5 miles we have up to 25. So that's one of our priorities. And then the discussion moved to easements and how we can talk to the landowners and have an approved easement discussion. I think they talked about looking at Barron County, at what they do. So that's, let's see. Then we talked a little bit about, through the ATV, UTV Council, then you can get funding for some of these increases. And so it's in a discussion stage, but once these trails are created, then the ATV, UTV Council can take over the maintenance of them. So it's a long process, and Ben said it's going to take a long time because any of these trails have to finally be approved by the DNR.
Right.
They have to be involved.
Okay.
So he said it's going to take time, but we're putting these in to get them moving along. And then I know the chief deputy asked me last month about getting the recreational officer involved. So I brought that to the committee. We hopefully maybe next month if he wants to come and start discussion and get involved with us and see what we can do.
Let me know the date and time, I'll make sure he's there.
Pardon?
You let me know the date and time, I'll make sure he's there.
Yeah, just the first Tuesday at 1 o'clock. I don't know the date, but Melvin probably has it there.
That would be a good man to have with
Yeah.
safety factors too, because of the,
And because of their involvement, Mark Gaussman will have to come in one time and discuss some of these trails.
okay.
Because they're talking about another one at Mackey Lake, and Mark and Bob had gone out to look at that. I think a month ago I talked to them. It was before deer season.
What's another trail? And
Yeah,
what's
at
lake?
Mackey Lake. It's out off of County Road Old,
Oh, sure.
kind of behind Gordy Hibbs there.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're looking at a loop. I guess that's already created, but there's some problems with a low area and needing a culvert and some gravel so we don't have a muddy spot.
Okay.
Otherwise, it would never
That
get.
sounds like some real good progress. Going better than I thought it might be at first, so.
It's
I know
working.
we're getting some pretty good feedback, so it's a lot of ATV, UTV people that have an interest, and they're wondering about coming to meetings and listening and finding out maybe some input they might be able to have too. So the word's getting out, and we want to. Are you prepared to give a similar comment to the county board? That county board, so that we get a little more recognition around by different supervisors and more people be involved. Okay, Doug, I really appreciate that. You're doing a great job.
There,
Go ahead.
are
Doug.
the trails closed right now?
What are you saying?
Are the trails closed right now?
Yeah, snowmobile trails are.
Snowmobile is closed.
Snowmobile, but UTVs can run.
Okay.
Okay,
Did
thank you.
you get that, John? What do you want that for in Arizona?
Yeah, I got that. I'll be home next Monday.
Oh, okay. Well,
See if we can open.
all right, John,
Question, Mr. Chair.
go ahead.
Where's the Sterling location? Where are you planning the additional 25 miles in Sterling? What section? What, is it all on Sterling County land or?
On your land.
Yeah, going up to Barron
So
County.
somebody called and asked me where it was. And I said, I don't know. I think, we probably need to know.
You got the 5 mile one here on the bottom that's circled. And then you can see the other starts there, but it goes all the way around.
Okay.
I'm sure Shabana could copy that for you if you need it.
Yeah, I need a copy of it.
Okay.
There's some questions about it. Is it all off-road or?
It's all off-road, and you can see the green is the county land.
Okay.
And then there's some sections that are going to have to be connected with private landowners.
So your trails is red?
Yeah, the red is all the way and comes all the way up here and around and down. Would be quite a loop if we can get it all put together. We got to thank Mark Osmond for that because he did a lot of the work on laying out that trail.
How do I get a copy of that?
Yep, I'll get one.
Maybe you would want to have some copies available for the county board.
You want more copies?
Well, if you can get some ready for the main board meeting, you might be able to get a little help from somebody there that has an interest and is familiar with the program, the land, and maybe helpful. They get a better idea of
What's going on?
what's going on. I want to keep them apprised. Okay, thanks a lot, Doug. Excuse me. Chad, do you want to talk about the CJCC and introduce where Chad go?
Yeah, Chad had to step out, and so I will try to fill his shoes in this regard, but very excited about, as the sheriff mentioned, 2021 is an opportunity for a great year, and one area that we've dedicated a wide search for people, for a person to lead our CJCC group as a coordinator. And Don Wortham from UW Extension was our interim one. He did a great job. I'd like to thank him. So we've asked the staff of the CJCC folks to come here, including the newly hired coordinator. And I'll say your names, and if you all want to stand up, then I'll let each one of you give us a little bit of a background, history, and what you do. So first, the new director, Susan Caparelli, and working with her are Sharon Foss and Julie Proplivka. And I'm sure I messed up that name, and I apologize.
Well, you got Caparelli, so
Yeah.
that was pretty impressive. So thank you, first of all. I am on day 5, so I don't have a ton of information to share, but I have met with Sheriff Locke and Chief Deputy and the administrator and several people, and that's basically what I've been trying to focus on, that and getting my IT put together in 2 different offices. It was important for me to be in both locations. As far as my history, I have led an organization for the past 5.5 years that has worked with offenders of different criminal activity and some lower level all the way up to felonies. Beyond that, for 5.5 years, I've also represented Pierce County, Wisconsin as their contracted CJCC coordinator. And I've also sat on the CJCC of St. Croix County and been on the chair and several committees for St. Croix County. So that's what I'm hoping to bring to the table for Polk County. I've wanted to support and serve Polk County for some time, and I've worked with Judge Tolan and several folks for the last 5.5 years, and I look forward to working with all of you. So thank you.
Welcome. We've been waiting for a director. We've got a lot of programs going and off the ground. I'm glad that you're here. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Oh, my name is Sharon Foss. I'm the treatment court case manager. I don't know, 4 years or 20, somewhere in there. Just 4. So I've been doing that. Primarily, that's my main job, trying to work with high risk, high need, meth addicted felons with pretty good success for the most part. COVID's been a bit of a challenge, a little bit of a setback here and there, but we're continuing to move forward. Yeah, and like Brent Walk said, yeah, the drug issue is a huge problem, and we're trying to do the best we can to curb that. That's basically what I do. Any questions?
Thank you.
I'm Julie Pokripka. I'm a case manager for some of our diversion programs. I currently run our first time offender program. We have IDIP, which is like our OWI program, is currently being transitioned over to CJCC, which I will run. And the community service part as well, keep track of those hours. And we have the CAD diversion that we're hoping to kind of solidify and get that up and running with the help of Susan.
Thank you. Thanks. Does anybody have any questions or anything? I know the program is made some real improvements in the last few years on what's going to happen. And I was on CJCC back many years ago, and before it was even incorporated. And I'm pretty excited about what the programs have been brought forward now and the ideas and things that are going. We just needed somebody to really get it started, and we feel we got a good one. So we want to thank you all and for the efforts that you guys do. I know we work really well with with law enforcement, the judicial system, and everybody else around. We appreciate the stuff that you're doing. Okay, we've got some review of our work plan for 2021. If there's anything that we have to review now that you're familiar with?
I don't think so. I think we put on here that we expect maybe, obviously we'll have an opportunity with more communication
Right.
from Susan and with CJCC.
Yep.
More often.
Good. Okay. Well, anything else that you want to bring up for next month? Well, actually, I'm not sure that we even need a meeting next month. These are getting pretty sparse now, always in February, and things comes down to nothing. So it's very probable, or possible at least, but more likely probable that we'll not have a meeting, but if we'll post it early so that you'll know, plan accordingly. Now, if you guys want to meet, that's perfectly fine. You go ahead and might give us, opportunity to join you. Okay. There's nothing else.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Motion made and seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Here's Johnny.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to personally thank,
Step in and contact them guys that I can get a hold of.
Really?
Yeah.
I still don't know. I'm at the mercy of the
Yeah. Somebody